Hey everybody, it's Dana. And the other day, as me and my kids were going down the rabbit hole of watching nightmare Lyft rides on YouTube, we came across a video that basically claimed a driver had made $4,000 in 1 week, which got me thinking that this would be a good video to make, because I don't really think it's possible to make $4,000 in 1 week doing Lyft, but also as a way to show how much you could potentially actually make realistically. I'm going to do this according to the scientific method, so I'll formulate my hypothesis and do my tests and come up with my conclusion. My hypothesis is that it's virtually impossible to make $4,000 in 1 week driving for Lyft. And this is an educated hypothesis, as I've been driving for Lyft for almost 7 years. I've given well over 10,000 rides. The way the pay structure is now for Lyft drivers would make it even more impossible to make $4,000 in a week. My record for the most amount of money earned in 1 week is a little over $2,000. It was like $2,264. That was my all-time record. And just to do that, this was about 5 years ago. I had a week off from work for vacation, and I decided I wanted to see how much I could earn if I just went straight up all day, every day for 7 days straight. This was, like I said, this was 5 years ago. At the time, the maximum you could drive was 14 hours in a day, and then you had to take a 6-hour break, and then you could drive for another 14 hours again. So you had 14 hours in a 24-hour period before you had to take a 6-hour break. And that's what I did for 7 days straight, and I made, a little over $2,200. And that was hitting bonuses. That was when prime time. There's no prime time anymore for drivers. So even that, and that was under the old pay structure. That was, that was under the Lyft Pioneer pay structure, which is, if you don't know what a Lyft Pioneer is, that's like someone that signed up when they first came to your area. So I signed up when Lyft first came to the Boston area. And for the first, I'd say 4 years that Lyft was here, I was under the Lyft Pioneer pay structure, meaning even when everyone else was getting different pay rates, those of us that were the originals, the OGs, we got grandfathered in. So we got the original, we got 80% of the fare, and Lyft took 20% of the fare. And that was what it was for the first 4 years I drove. And then eventually they changed, and they moved everyone to the same pay scale, and they made it, a flat rate. You get this per mile, this per minute, and of course every year since, that per mile and per minute has gotten cut. We now as drivers make less per minute, we make less per mile, there's no more prime time, so our only chance of making extra money are when they do what they call the ride challenges, which have been few and far between since coronavirus, but there is going to be one this week coming up, and streak bonuses, and the occasional power zone that they put up. So I'm going to try to maximize my earnings as much as I can, because trust me, I would love to make $4,000 in a week. I just know it's not possible. But I suppose I should say anything's possible. I'm never going to say never, so I'm actually going to test this hypothesis, and I'll report back to you. I'll show what I've earned that day, how many hours I drove, and by the end of the 7 days, you can have an idea of how much you could potentially earn doing Lyft. All right, Monday morning, 5 a.m., day one of the Lyft $4,000 challenge. We're starting right off the bat with a $15 streak bonus, 3 rides in a row, extra $15. We got the $157 ride challenge for the first 90 rides this week, and then there's an additional $68 for the next 10 rides after that. There are streak bonuses all week, so if there was ever going to be a week that I'd be able to make $4,000, it would definitely be this week. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's day 2. I realized very quickly yesterday, after being out for 15 hours, 12 hours of that was driving, like online. That trying to edit a video after being out for 15 hours is not going to happen. So, summary from yesterday, I was out a total of 15 hours of the day. You know, I took a few breaks in between. It was 12 hours online total before I got shut off for the day because I maxed out my time. I gave 24 rides, and it was $332 in fares. And that was with a couple streak bonuses in there, too. This morning, I've already been out for 2 hours. It's been kind of a slow morning. For 2 hours, and I've made $38. So it's been kind of slow. I know you might think, oh, $19 now, that's not bad. But that's actually slow for this, like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., up to about 9 or 10. You can usually average about $30 an hour, maybe a little more. So it's been kind of slow comparatively. I'm taking a break now at 9 o'clock in the morning. There's a bunch of streak bonuses at 9, 11, 1, 3, 5. So pretty much from 9 o'clock on, I'm going to be going straight out until it shuts me off for the day. So hopefully I can recoup some of what I didn't make this morning. Off pace, though. I'm definitely off pace of that $4,000 for the week, so we'll see what happens. So if I feel up to it tonight, I'll give another update for the day. If not, I'll just update again tomorrow, and I'm just going to splice all these together and make one long video at the end of the week. Day 2, complete. 21 rides, 11 and a half hours, $270. I'm exhausted. I still have 5 days of this to go. A frustrating day. And tomorrow, I think it's going to be even worse tomorrow because there's only one streak bonus available for me tomorrow. And no other bonuses the rest of the day unless they pop up some power zones. So it's going to be a tough go tomorrow trying to make money. We are way off track of this $4,000 challenge. So every hour that passes by, I'm realizing how impossible this is. So just don't believe everything you see on the internet. Quick update, it's day 3. I've been out for 8 hours, $190 in fares, over 16 rides. I'm about to take a little quick dinner break. I will update with the day end finale when I complete my 12th hour. Surprisingly ahead of yesterday's pace, even though there was only one streak bonus available today. And there was like 5 yesterday. But I'll update you at the end of day 3. Day 3 complete. I did a little over 10 hours today. I don't want to go too late because I have a bunch of streak bonuses starting early tomorrow morning. So if I go too late tonight, I could get shut off in the middle of driving tomorrow. So I want to make sure I get a full, at least an 8-hour break so I don't get shut off at any point tomorrow. So I'm going to call it now. A little over 10 hours. $238. 19 rides. So we are at roughly 33 hours for the week so far. It's Wednesday, day 3. Roughly 33 hours for the week so far. We've made $846 and given 64 rides. 64 rides. Not on track to make the $4,000. I can't remember what I said at the beginning of the week. I think I said I probably would make around 2,000, maybe a little over. And I think that's what I'm on track to make right now. If I hit the ride challenge bonus, which I'm probably going to hit either tomorrow. I should hit it tomorrow. I am, for the first part of the ride challenge, it's $157 for 90 rides. I'm 26 rides away. I can probably hit that tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be a big day. There's ride bonuses at 3 a.m., 5 a.m. Yes, I'm waking up early to try the 3 a.m. bonus. 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m., there's a break, and then 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., and then I'll probably get shut off for the day. So there's 8 streak bonuses tomorrow of $15 or $18. So that is, it's at least $128 or something in that, $120 to $130 in streak bonuses alone. Plus whatever I made in fares. Plus I should hit the $157 ride challenge bonus tomorrow if it's a busy day. So we could realistically be looking at tomorrow having a day, the biggest day of the week, of somewhere between $500, maybe even $600. And that could make up some ground. But then we're not going to have another day like that this week. So, you guys up tomorrow morning. And good morning. It is day number 4. And we're 3 hours into it already, up $94 so far for the first 3 hours. And that's a true 3 hours. I haven't taken a break yet, so I'm just gonna keep on plugging along. I am 17 rides away from the ride challenge bonus of $157. So if I can hit that today, yeah, I might end up having like a $500 day today, so we'll see. I'll update you at the conclusion of day 3. I am so sick of this. There's rain every day this
3 hours later.
I'm so aggravated right now. We got a couple hours left. I'm not going to hit that bonus I thought I was going to hit. And I just got screwed out of a streak bonus because I just drove a half hour into the middle of nowhere to drop someone off in the middle of a streak and lost cell service, which breaks the streak if they can't send a ride request to you. So I'm apologizing in advance because this is going to be a little bit of a rant. I'm just there's about 300 trillion cuss words I want to say right now, but I won't because I want to be able to monetize this video. But I'm just so freaking aggravated right now. I'm aggravated at the guy that claimed that he was making $4,000 a week on Lyft because it's impossible, and I'm aggravated that there's going to be people that believe that and try to do this. I wouldn't be doing this. I'm only doing this as an experiment for you guys so you can see realistically what you can make. And I'm not recommending it. I'm almost through day 4. I mean, this is, yep, I'm doing 12 hours of driving, but it's really more. You know, I'm out for 16, 17 hours a day. So it's because you have to spread that driving out to be able to maximize those bonuses. Otherwise, you're going to be driving during the dead spots in the day when there's no rides and you're wasting your time. So you try to fill the break with those dead spots. Geese. So I'm exhausted. I'm just I have to say, I know there's a lot worse things you can be doing for work. Trust me, I've done those jobs. And Lyft is by far not the worst job I've ever done. But there's a reason why I don't do it full time. I don't consider myself a full-time driver. I do other things. I was a full-time driver a couple of years ago. But it beats the snot out of your car. It beats the snot out of you mentally and physically. It sucks sitting in that car in the same position all day, in the cage. It sucks dealing with crappy passengers, and you get swings where you get really good passengers, and the 95% of the people you get in your car are awesome. Just like if you're a passenger, you know, most of the drivers are going to be awesome, but you every now and then you get the rude person. But it grates on your soul after a while. It's just... I think the biggest thing is it's just they shouldn't be allowing people to drive this long throughout the day. That's my thing right now. Right now, I've been, you know, I just wanted to say all this while it's fresh in my head, but I just don't think they should be allowing people to, like, if the state of Massachusetts itself, you know, they limit you to 12 hours a day, which I think now, as I'm doing this little experiment, is too much. If it wasn't for the state of Massachusetts regulating it, we'd be still going under Lyft's regular policy, which is you can drive for 14 hours in a 24-hour period and then take a 6-hour break. And then you can start driving your next 14-hour period. That's just way too much time. Because there are drivers that are doing this and they're running themselves ragged. And contrary to what the media thinks, the chances of you being attacked or assaulted by a Lyft passenger or Uber passenger or your Lyft driver or Uber driver, those chances are extremely small. The biggest safety concern with ride sharing is inattentiveness while the driver is driving. They literally have your life in their hands when they're driving, and a lot of these drivers are running themselves ragged to meet these quotas for these bonuses and stuff like that, and it's just not right. Lyft is the only job I've ever had where they actually literally cut your pay every year. Every year for the past 3 years, Lyft has dropped the per mile rate and the per minute rate for drivers. And they've done it a couple times in a year, the last 2 years. It's the only job I've ever done that. There's sacrifices you make. It's great because you have flexibility. It's great you don't have anyone telling you what to do. But there's no reason why a passenger should be paying $70 for a ride, but the driver gets like $32 of it. That's just not right. There's no reason why drivers should be out for 17, 18 hours a day to fulfill that 12 to 14 hour quota so they can hit those bonuses, running themselves ragged and putting everyone at risk. And the reason I'm saying this is because I had 2 incidents today. One of the things I pride myself on is being a good driver. I taught driver's ed for a few years. I'm a motorcycle rider. I'm super attentive. I mean, a couple of years ago, I actually won the Golden Amp Award for being like the safest driver on Lyft. I got more safe driving compliments than anyone in the company. So that's one of the things I'm proud of. There's not much to be proud of if the only thing you're doing is being a rideshare driver. There's not much career-wise you can be proud of, but that was one of the things I was proud of. I made 2 huge mistakes today. I ran a stop sign and I almost got into an accident while I was on my way to pick someone up. And those are things I would never do. Like, I'm super attentive when I'm on the road. And it's exhaustion. I'm just exhausted. I just can't believe I still have 3 days left of this. I mean, I'll tell you what, they're going to shut me off early today because I went out early this morning. So I'm going to try to get as much sleep as I can when I get home, so I can start refreshed for tomorrow. But, you know, I miss my wife, I miss hanging out with my kids, and I'm literally sacrificing that every day to do this stupid thing. I don't know. I'm just so aggravated right now. This isn't right. They should be, like, honestly, they should limit the rides. Here's what they should do, because there's all this debate on how to regulate ride sharing. I still think the drivers should be independent contractors. I've always supported that because you get that freedom. But they should limit you to 8 hours a day. I don't care what other drivers would say. Limit you to 8 hours a day. Raise the pay rate. Raise your per mile. Raise your per minute. Cap it at 8 hours a day. Then you have drivers making decent money, a decent living wage. They're driving safely. They're not running themselves ragged. I just don't get how these rideshare companies can rake the drivers over the coals on the fares and then claim they're losing money every year. They need to be better. Be better, Lyft. Be better. All right, everybody, I'm calling it. It's been a little over 10 hours. I gave 18 rides today. I made $256. I'm not complaining about how much I made today. I'm not complaining about how much I've made this week. I've made good money this week. The reality is, if there was no bonuses this week, I'd be making about 40% of what I made so far. Because they've pretty much only been putting these type of bonuses out once a month. I don't know how they're deciding when to put the bonuses out. I think they're doing it for different drivers at different times. That has to be how they do it. Because I won't have any more bonuses like this for another month. So this was the only week really within a month that I could do this experiment. Any other week I would try this, the most I would probably be able to make would be about $800 or $900. So as of now, like I said, I gave 18 rides today. I drove for 10 and a half hours. That puts me at about 43 hours for the week. And I've given 83 rides for the week so far. It's the end of day 4. And I've made $1,113 total. 3 days to go. So now we're looking like I might not even, I was originally thinking I was going to hit 2,000. I don't even think I'm going to hit 2,000 now. But we'll see. I should hit both ride challenge bonuses tomorrow, both the $157 and the $68. That should help boost up the earnings, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay, it's day 5. Try to hit at least 17 rides today so I can hit both targets of the ride challenge. It's Friday, should be busy, so I don't see why we couldn't do a lot more than 17 rides. After the way yesterday went, who knows? So all we can do is hope for the best. Hope that I'm in a better headspace than I was yesterday. I feel a lot better than I did yesterday. I've had time to reflect on things. Although I still, don't get me wrong, I still feel the same way about everything I was saying in my rant. Just I'm in a better mood right now, so I hope I can carry it through the next 15 or so hours. And I'll report throughout the day what's going on. It was a long day. As you can see, I hope you can see, it's 1 a.m. This day started at 5 a.m. It's a 20-hour day, basically. Now, of course, I wasn't driving the entire time. I spread out my driving so I could hit some of the bonuses. Unfortunately, I think I only got like 2 streak bonuses today. I got screwed out of like several streak bonuses where they just broke my streak for no reason. I randomly got signed off out of the app at one point, and then like that broke my streak, and I signed right back in, so I don't know how that happened. I did hit the 2 ride challenge bonuses for $157 and then another one for $68. So the total for the day was $485 over like 11 hours of driving. Of course, you know, more than half of that was bonuses. I was looking at the numbers today. Basically, I'm at almost like 55 hours for the week, and I've made $1,614 in about 55 hours. I've put a disgusting amount of mileage on the car this week. I mean, you always put a ton of miles on your car, but it's been like, I don't know, I'm close to 3,000 miles at this point, and I still have 2 days to go. I've spent at least $40 a day on gas. And then of that $1,600, like, at this point now, about, I think I was looking at it, I think it's about $900 or close to $1,000 of it is bonuses, which means in 55 hours, if I didn't have the bonuses, I would have made about $600. I'd be making a little over $10 an hour, not counting gas, if they didn't have bonuses this week. So the bonuses help out. So I can't complain about the fact that I've made good money because the bonuses help out. But if there were no bonuses this week, the pay would be atrocious. This goes back to what I was saying yesterday in my little rant. You know, I think they should limit the amount of hours the drivers can go even lower, but raise how much we're making per ride. Raise the amount of money per mile, raise the amount of money per minute. All right, I'm going to get some sleep. I can't drive again until later in the morning. Doesn't matter. There's no bonuses tomorrow. There's a few tomorrow night. So most of my driving is going to be later in the day tomorrow to maximize earnings. So I'm going to sleep, and I will catch up with you tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is day 6. Pretty early in the morning, actually. It's almost 8 o'clock. Before I do anything today, I need to give my car an oil change and do a tire rotation. I am way overdue for both, and this week has not helped. So I'm going to do that stuff. I'm going to get that stuff out of the way. I'm probably going to take a nap before I start my actual driving day. So I'll give you updates as we go through that. That's fine. Just do the next one. Go to the next one. You don't want to strip. Next one. Next one. And yep, just loosen them up. No, other way.
Or put a slime, or put like a rage face too. Like epic rage moment. Oh.
Alright.
Can I do this tire again?
I'm not gonna do that tire.
What?
Alright, let me see.
Ready?
Yeah. Keep pressing. There you go. Take it out.
Want me to help him?
Put some muscle in that. Want to try, Hunter? There you go. That's it. That's all. Just one click. You know it's done.
Don't you like
Then go to the next one. Yep. Next one. It's easier to push down on it. There you go. That way you can put your weight on it.
Okay, now.
So you're gonna go to this one.
Can you help me?
I'll put it. Okay, put it down. Yeah.
Don't pull it up, just pull it down. Put some weight on it.
Like,
So you hear a click. Find out how you guys did rotating the tires.
is it voice right now? Or did I hear my voice?
Yeah.
Hi, YouTube.
Hi.
Okay, oil change is done. Tire rotation is done. If you have a ride share and you have any mechanical ability at all, and you have the right tools, I suggest going ahead and just doing that stuff yourself because it's just so much easier. Save yourself some money. We were out there for like an hour and a half, but it's like 90 degrees outside, so it felt like it was about 3 hours. They added some streak bonuses this afternoon, so I'm gonna head out now. It's 11 o'clock. First streak now starts at 1 o'clock. There's one at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. There's one at 7 o'clock. So they added up a bunch of streak bonuses, so there must have been some sort of mistake in the app yesterday. Something was going on with the app yesterday because my ride count was off and I kept on getting kicked off the streaks. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. Hopefully whatever bug was going on yesterday is fixed. I'll give you an update at the end of the day. Just dropped off my last passenger and the app signed me out. Said it's time to take a break. So I don't know. I thought I had a few hours left, and I guess I signed on too early before my full 8-hour break was up or something. I don't know what happened, but I gave 14 rides today for $203. So one day to go. I'm at about $1,700. I don't think I'm going to make $2,300 in one day. Good morning, everybody. We are 4 hours into day 7. I can't believe it's finally almost over.
3 hours later.
I don't even know what's going on right now. It's been like almost 2 hours since my last ride. This is like really frustrating. I have 8 minutes to give my first ride on the 1 o'clock streak. It's almost 2 o'clock now. So if I don't get a ride within the next 8 minutes, I miss out on this streak bonus. I got like 4 hours to go. Alright, I'm calling it. I stopped a couple hours early today. I think at this point I've proven that you just can't make $4,000 in 1 week doing this. But I do have some surprising findings. You can make a lot more than I thought you could make, provided there are bonuses available. It is so I didn't break my record. I came very close, and if I had stayed out the last couple hours today, I, in all likelihood, would have broken my record. But at that point, I just knew I wasn't gonna break the 4,000, and I'm not that desperate to break my record either. I just wanted to prove a point, basically. But I also wanted to show people what you could potentially earn. But we're gonna look at some of the drawbacks to this, and we're gonna look at the earnings that are going to be reported versus what is actually earned. I want to go over those numbers. First thing I want to look at is my mileage for the week, because that's going to play a factor into true earnings. So when I started this week, I drive a 2013 Toyota Prius. My mileage was at 204,112 miles, and upon the completion today, and almost 100% of these are Lyft miles, my odometer was at 207,795 miles. Okay, so that is a total mileage on the car of 3,683 miles for the week. So all these earnings are, keep that in mind that I drove almost 4,000 miles this week. I'm going to put a screenshot, probably right here, of the summary of this week's hours and money. So I gave 131 rides and earned $2,118.21. My online hours, quote unquote, the hours that I was in driver mode, was 67. But my total hours for the week, in other words, the hours I was pretty much out all day. Most days I was out from like 5 a.m. until about 8:30 p.m. Some nights I was out till 9. One night I was out till 7. And then there was that one Friday where I was out from like 5 till 1 in the morning. So my total hours, like availability basically, my true hours, I'm going to say, was 101. Which, if you've watched the whole video, after about on day 4, you saw my complete breakdown, and that's pretty much why. I was pretty run down. Exhaustion is a thing, and you have to keep that in mind when you're trying to do this, especially if you're trying to do this for a living. So that's the breakdown of the app. So on face value, you would think, okay, that's great. You made $2,118.21. That's a fantastic week. Don't get me wrong. I am absolutely stoked that I made that much money this week. That's awesome. That's $31.61 an hour if we're going by the online time. But anyone that drives for Lyft can tell you that the online time is BS because you're sacrificing a lot more time than that. This is how I came up with the 101 hours. You're driving back from places where you drop someone off that doesn't have a lot of business, and you don't want to waste your online time, so you turn it off. There's dead spots in the day where you're going to turn it off because you don't want to waste online time when there's no rides coming in. So your actual time is a lot longer than that 12-hour period. And that's how we come up with the 101 hours. So face value time, doing the online hours, it's $31.61 an hour averaged for the whole week. If we're doing our true time, our total hour time, you take that $2,118.21 and you divide it by the 101 hours I was out. That's still $20.97 an hour. That's pretty good, But this does not factor in some things we're going to talk about. Car devaluation and gas and stuff like that. Another thing I want to take into consideration is that I've mentioned a few times through the course of the week that there's typically not a whole lot of bonuses lately, that like the ride challenge bonus and the streak bonuses pop up here and there, but sometimes they go like a week or two without putting any bonuses out, or even 3 weeks without putting any bonuses out. So there's always the possibility that you could be driving for a week with no bonuses, or your availability only allows you to drive when they're during off bonus time. So if we look at the total bonuses, and I left the cancel earnings and the lost and found payment I received in there as earnings, but just if I took away the bonuses and tips, things that Lyft wouldn't always be giving you, like Lyft doesn't give you the tips, that's the passenger, and Lyft pays the bonuses, but if you're on a week bonuses, if I took away those earnings, that's $843.53. For the week, I would have only earned $1,274.68 in 101 hours. That's, that brings your hourly wage down to like $12 an hour. And once again, that's not factoring in gas. But let's just keep, for the sake of the video, let's just keep it is what it is. I actually earned the $2,118. That's what I took in. So let's go on that number. I put on 3,683 miles on the car in the process of doing that. Now, the average devaluation of a car is about, national average is 10 to 20 cents per mile on a car. My car, and it's, it varies depending on the year, make, and model of your car. My car's a 2013 Prius. We're just going to split the difference. Let's just say my car was devaluing at 15 cents a mile. And that's how, when you're doing your tax write-offs, they come up with, whatever it is this year. It's 58 cents a mile, I think. That's factoring in the money. If you're not going to write off your gas, how much you spend on gas and your expenses, and you instead go with mileage write-offs, they're factoring in those expenses plus the devaluation of your car. That's how they come up with that 58 cents a mile. For the devaluation of the car, it's $552.45 for the week. So we're going to subtract that from our earnings because you want to factor in how much your car was devalued. So the $2,118.21 minus $552.45. Gas for the week, I filled up several times, sometimes a couple times a day. I filled up $184.57 for the week. And I had 2 car washes and vacuuming, using vacuums, paying to use the vacuums. and that was $42. So all total, minus, the expenses for the week and the devaluation of the car, I earned $13,000. I wish I earned $13,000. $1,339.19. So that is the true actual earnings I made. So like when I go to pay my taxes, that would be what I would be paying taxes on. Basically, you would subtract those if I was going to write off those deductions. Instead of doing gas mileage, that would be what I would be paying taxes on, is that $1,339. And then you would take your taxes out of that, and then that's what you would take home. So take 30% out of that, and then there's what your actual take home is. So what's that, a little over? That's still not bad for a week's work, but you have to factor in that I was out for 100 hours, so $10 an hour now we're talking. But if we're just looking at the $1,300, forget about taxes. That's for online hours, that's 67 hours. That's $19.98 an hour. And if we're doing the $1,300 at our true hours of 101 hours, that is $13.26 an hour. So, bottom line is, depending on how you want to look at it, realistically, if you were going to try to do this, I don't recommend it. But if you were going to try to do this, you're going to earn between a true hourly wage of $13 an hour all the way up to, best case scenario, probably $31, $32 an hour. That's the range you're looking at if you're going to try to do this. And the things that come into play are there going to be bonuses that week? Are you going to make it? There was a couple nights I cut short. I didn't stay online the full 12 hours I could have because I was just so exhausted. Because I was out for 15 hours, even though I was only online for 11 or 10. Or today I was out for like 9.5. So you have to factor in those things. Really, the purpose of this video, I wanted to debunk the whole $4,000 in 1 week thing, but I also wanted to give people some like real, actual information. Like, this is realistic. It's realistic, but I don't think people should do it. I don't think you should be driving this long every day. It's just, you need your sleep. Sleep is so important. You need personal time because you need time for yourself and your family, and that's true. That's like really important for your mental health. And all those things combined for road awareness. When you're on the road, and safety. You have people's lives in your hands when you're doing this, so you need to be at your best. You really should be at your best anytime you're on the road driving, whether you're getting paid for it or not. But we all know that people aren't. But this is the driver's ed instructor in me telling you need to be at your best when you're behind the wheel. This is the motorcyclist in me that has been nearly killed by people on the road that aren't paying attention. You need to be at your best when you're behind the wheel. So I don't suggest driving 100 hours a week. I just don't do it. I don't suggest it. Don't do it. You can make good money doing this, just driving a few hours a day during the most busiest times, and you can still earn a pretty good living doing this, or even not a good living, a good side hustle. That's what I've always done doing it, is drive during the optimized times to maximize my value. And some days you have slow days, and some days you have really busy days, and it all kind of evens out in the end. But you don't need to kill yourself to do this. You don't need to, it's like any other job. You're going to work hard when you're doing it. You're going to hustle, and you're going to get paid. If you're a hustler, you're going to get paid pretty well doing it. That's how it works. Hustle, if you're going to be a hustler and you're going to, well, don't be a hustler, but if you're going to hustle in the working hard sense, and you're going to be a good driver, and you're going to give your passengers a good experience, they're going to give you good tips, that you're going to do pretty well. And if you're going to, but at a certain point, I'm shocked, truly shocked this week that my driver rating stayed at a perfect 5.0, because there were certainly some days here where, like, I probably, I was quiet. I wasn't rude to anybody. And, I started this week very upbeat, and I'm always as pleasant as I can be to people. I'm always as pleasant as I can be to people. But there was days I was probably kind of, like, out of it, a little quiet, and, like, lost in my thoughts because of everything going on with this. But, so I'm almost surprised, because people... But like my rating, knock on wood, hasn't dropped below 5 stars in over 3 years now at this point. So I've worked very hard to maintain that rating, and I think it's reflected in the rides I give. And, I was really worried that this week, doing this experiment, I was worried going in that my rating was going to plummet. just because I knew the toll mentally and emotionally this was going to take on me, and I was afraid it was going to affect the rides I was giving. So it looks like it didn't affect them that bad. I don't know. Maybe there's some ratings the past couple days that haven't come in yet, and we'll see. But I know definitely for the first part of the week, it didn't affect it. So that's all I have to say about that. Hey, did you like these videos? Hey, did you like this video? Did you find it useful? Would you like to see more Lyft content? I certainly am. I'm definitely knowledgeable about Lyft as well, and I can add more videos about this. Give different tips and tricks. I just need people to let me know. Let me know down in the comments. If you like the channel in general, you like a multitude of things, make sure you like and subscribe. In the comments, you can also let me know if you're a Lyft driver or an Uber driver, what's your biggest week you've had? What's your personal record? How many hours did you work to do it? And another thing I would like to know from people is, what's the longest ride you've ever given? I have a story about that. Maybe that's a video for another day. But what's your longest ride you've ever given? Let me know in the comment. Take care, everybody.